The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
That being said about drug dealers, 36 years later, I meet one of the biggest ones out of the Parkside Projects that had my son's mom on his board. And when I met him, I never knew that he was the biggest. But when I said that you got the smart ones and the dumb ones, he's the smartest one. He's a goddamn genius. Okay? And it's a pleasure to meet him. He's my godson now, his wife's my goddaughter. But I love both of them. But I never thought of my wildest dream I would meet the biggest one. And I met him, I had met him twice. Each night it seemed like he was so humble. But he was a sleeping giant. From the Parkside Project, the real G, okay? These guys, he's kind of, that I would say, that some of these young drug dealers, if you got that dealing drugs, you take some damn notes, man, because at the end of the day, like I said, I never known that he was one of the big drug dealers, and I was running around his hood all the time for 6 damn years. I probably saw him. We talked about it yesterday. I probably seen my boy. I had to see him. Ain't no question on my mind. I did see him, but I just knew who the hell he was. But one thing he said, God has everything planned. It was planned for me and him to meet 36 years later. But it's hard to believe that now he's doing my documentaries. He's one that came up with the Detroit Mailman. But like I said, got two kinds, the smart ones and the dumb ones, but he's a genius. That being said, I want to thank everybody for watching this documentary. I hope you enjoy it. Okay? Poppa Snoop, the man who made that guy named Snoop D-O-G, okay? Now he got me up here in Detroit. We did the east side yesterday. We did the west side yesterday. We finna do the guys I work with tonight. And that's how all this came about. Everything started with the passing of Snoop's mom, long story short. If Bella wouldn't have passed away, just make sure rest in peace, this never would have happened. But like me and Rob was saying, when Bella started, I'm picking up from the time she passed away up to right now. Now it's all about me and Rob. But Bella rest in peace. Me and Rob and Cindy, we still got things going on. And we doing it for you. I know you smiling down on us, Bella. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm going to keep things going for you, Bella. I always love you. Rob and Lucinda love you because they talk about you all the time. And I just want to thank you for giving me Snoop. As you know, that we grew up together, and I'm still here. And I was there by your side when you got sick until you passed away. And that's how all this stuff came about. Snoop's mom passed away, and me and Rob decided that Rob and Lucinda, and here we are. Okay. That being said, at the end of the day, they're right here in front of me. They filming me. I love them both. So now, one more episode with the homeboys, and the documentary will be filmed, and we'll see what happened after that. Y'all have.
Well, welcome to another installation of music and conversation. I'm your boy D Nice, and I have a great show for you today. What makes it so great is because we're here, alive and well. And we got a special guest with us today. Not this one right here, who is my co-host, that we can never find when we want her, but we always can find her when we need her. And that's the good part. When you find a friend that's there when you need them, that's a good thing. Maybe she'll catch on to when we want her there too. Miss Sharon, how you doing today?
I am fine, D Nice. How are you?
Man, I'm getting ready for this holiday and this year to be over with. That's
Man,
me.
it has been a lot going on. We have been busy running the streets, holidays, all kinds of stuff going on. And I'm excited about this show because we've got this young man. He's very young, y'all. He's having a birthday tomorrow, though.
Yes.
We're going to take care of that in a minute.
I hear you.
But he is the father of the legendary Snoop Dogg. He is a singer, songwriter in his own right. He has done some amazing things in his life, and he was in the military. Imagine that. The military. We need to, let me tell you who he is. His name is Vernell Varnado. Welcome, Vernell, to the show.
Thank you.
Wow, that's a tongue twister for me. Vernell Varnado.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. It's
Yeah.
good to see you here.
Same here.
You
Yeah,
look
it is.
amazing.
Thank you.
You couldn't be Snoop's dad. You look more like his brother.
Well, we brothers in heart, but father and soul.
Yeah, that is, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because that reminds me, a couple of people were asking me when they found out we were going to do this interview, they were like, you know what, this and Snoop's dad and this and this. And I said, you know what, let's put it in the right perspective. You're going back to this, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I said, let me tell you the truth, what you just don't know. What came first was the rooster
Right.
who found the chicken, who brought in the egg.
Right.
Anything other than that is just scrambled.
Oh, my goodness.
So this young man here has his own magic that he's putting down. And for one thing, let me announce to you guys, veterans watching, this is a war hero from Vietnam. 3 times he has received the Purple Heart. Now I'm going to tell you something. First time I received it, it would be by accident. I save folks because, you know what I'm saying, there's nothing else for me to do. But when I go back into that line of duty again 2 more times, yes, that says a lot about your character.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And so what we're going to do, we don't do interviews on this show. We just chop it up. So,
Right.
we're going to open the mic, man, and let you just talk about your humble beginnings. And then we're going to end up by finding out where you're going to go to next and how we can help you get there. So let's get started.
I
with
want to
you, my
know where
brother.
you've been.
Wow.
And then I can, figure out where you're going.
Okay, where I've been,
Yeah, where have you been?
I was born in Magnolia, Mississippi, December 13, 1949. I came from a family of 12. My dad had a landscaping business, and I came from money because all the Varnados, my dad's aunties, dads had their own business. So I grew up in a business type environment. And all my sisters and brothers, we all finished high school. We all retired from our jobs and everything. And most of us went to college and everything. And I left Mississippi in 1966, moved to San Francisco. After high school, I got drafted. Then I went to Vietnam.
Oh, they drafted
You're
you.
right. But let me go back to Mississippi. I grew up during the Civil Rights Movement from 1949 to 1966. I remember when Emmett Till got killed. I was like 6. I was 6 years old. Then the 2 white boys, and black guy Cheney, they found in the landfill up in the Delta, Mississippi. Then Medgar Evers. And during that time, it was protesting, right? And I didn't realize that many people that got killed in my hometown. To my second youngest sister, Bernice, she sent me a list of all the people who had got killed. Yeah, I knew their kids and everything, but this, I think she sent it to me about 5 years ago. And I couldn't believe it. But during that time, man, as blacks, you was kind of handcuffed. You know what I'm saying? Even when I came back from Vietnam, I still seen the same signs, white and colored. They didn't segregate our schools until 1972. But I grew up with hand-me-down books, raggedy buses, dirt roads. But once
Did
you
you
get
have
that,
shoes?
huh?
Did you have shoes?
Oh yeah, I can't. Like I said, I came from money. I had shoes.
Right.
I always had shoes and clothes because my dad made us work. He had a landscaping business, so we always had something. We was always working. He worked for all the big people in my hometown, judges, doctors. We know them all. So I didn't have that problem. And one thing it taught me that if you're black and you trying to excel in life and you're around rich white people, all white people are not bad. The rich ones was the one who kept money in my pocket because my dad brought us up to respect him. Every time we worked for him, we was neat and clean and everything, well spoken. So I've never really wanted for nothing because I've always worked. So that being said, we grew our own food. My dad had a lot of land. Back then, everybody was self-sufficient. We didn't have city water. Either you had a well or a pump.
Right.
My grandmother had a well. We had a pump. You would go out there and start it up. Once the water pressure build up, you pump it.
Right.
Wooden heater, number 3, 10 tub, take a bath, outhouses. We didn't have all that growing up. So that's why I took my grandkids. you guys grew up during the good times.
Right.
So I know how it feel to come from that era to where I am right now. Okay, and it made me a stronger person.
Right.
Because when I looked at all the white people I used to work for, I used to always tell my dad, one day I'm gonna have a house just like them.
Right.
My dad told me he said you can have anything you want if you're willing to work and take care of your money.
Right.
So I've done all that. So moving fast forward, Vietnam, get drafted. During that time, they were seeing a draft card once you turn 18 years old.
Yeah.
And you had to go down to the draft board and register.
Right.
Then the next time they call you up to be drafted.
Right.
So it was a 4F, 1Y, and 1A.
Right.
If you was 4F and 1Y, you wasn't going nowhere.
Right.
You had an injury. I was 1A. Next thing I know, I'm raising my hand, right?
Right.
So I took my basic training in Fort Lewis, Washington. Then I took AIT at Fort Bliss. And me and two of my guys I was in Vietnam with that we still in contact with, we talk about, we trained in the desert in White Sands, New Mexico, on a 40-millimeter gun, shooting at airplanes. But when we got to Vietnam, it was a different world.
Right. Exactly.
You feel? So I got to Vietnam June 4th, 1968, 18 and a half years old.
Right.
Got to my unit, first cab. At a racist platoon sergeant named Sergeant Dearborn. He did not like blacks. And let me say this, man, Vietnam was a racial war. You know, it wasn't the white boys from back east, from Chicago, Illinois, and New York. So they was used to been around blacks. It was white boys that was from down south that was used to treating blacks any kind of way.
Okay.
I got lucky the guys that was in my unit, they was all from New York, Chicago, Detroit.
Got
They
it.
knew I was the country boy, naive. They said, hey, man, we got your back.
Right.
Okay. They had game, I didn't. I only been in California 2 years, right?
Right.
Okay, so what happened was, man, like I said, after ambush or shootout or people get killed, you get back to our fire base, all the white boys standing over here by themselves. All the Latinos, blacks, and Puerto Ricans, we all to ourselves. So, to me, I said to myself, this is a war. We fight one another. We're not fighting the enemy.
Right.
And that's why we lost that war. So after Vietnam, my sister-in-law and my sister was working at the post office. And he told me that they was hiring veterans. It's ironic, man, that about 2 months before I got out, they had started this program called Project Transition, to transition you from the military back to the outside world.
Right.
So just so happened the post office was on the list.
Okay.
I went to school for 2 months at the post office, took the test, passed the test. I got out of the military in January. I moved to New Jersey with my older sister. The post office called me the first part of March. I started working right down the street on 39 Crenshaw.
Right.
Did 15 there.
Wow.
Then I went to Detroit for my last 10. I retired, man. So, but what happened was, like, when Snoop, my son, came to the music business, you know, when he came out with Doggy Style, he sold a whole lot of records, right? He had got us some trouble. Yeah, I knew he needed me and stuff. He was in Detroit, so he probably needs you, right? So I took a really 7-year early retirement. I lost money, man, but that's my son. I wasn't going to let him go down by himself, right?
Right.
So I moved back to LA. He won the squad case in '96. That's when I started going on tour with him. But that's when I was beginning to realize how the music business was. I mean, I came from a musical family. On my dad's side, piano players, singers, songwriters. My mom's side, guitar players, singers, songwriters. My sister's dad's mama, the guy, my nephew, she was talking about. She was the first one to get into the music business. She was going to Jackson State. Dorothy Moore to sing Mr. Blue. Okay, they was top dog for Jackson State. ARBL came and got her and took her to Stack Records.
Okay.
So she was with Stack from 65 until they shut down. She wrote a whole lot of songs, got a whole lot of plaques. And then she had started a group with Snoop and Daz, Snoop, Daz, Superfly, and Dave Foreman in the church down in Long Beach, Gotham Church, or Anaheim. She started the group, and all of them made it in the music business. So when Snoop came to the music business, he really shocked everybody. He definitely shocked me because at the time, man, he was always rapping. But I'm living in Detroit because his mom had sent him to Detroit to spend the summer because he had got started hanging out with gangbangers. So let me say this, that 3 months in Detroit got him to where he is right now. Because he was used to landing around. You know, let's face it, people in L.A., kids in L.A., they lazy.
Yes.
They're not like kids from back east.
Right.
Finish school, go to college, you know what I'm saying? They all about gangbanging. Most of them don't live long. Most of them go to jail early.
That's real.
So by her sending him to Detroit with me, now I got him one-on-one. He's 15 years old. Everybody at McDonald's would tell me, hey, man, your son's a hell of a rapper. And that being said, it was the perfect situation because my post office was on 8 Mile and Illinois. McDonald's was on 8 Mile and Green Line.
Right.
You could walk there 6 blocks. So it was a perfect situation for me. I got him on the early show. Because I knew he was sleeping all day long. 4:30 in the morning, he had to be at work at 5. I would drop him off, go to the post. I would sleep in my car for an hour, then I would clock in. So that job got him to where he is because, like I said, he wasn't around his homeboys. Detroit is a different beast.
Right.
He was around. He was around foot soldiers. Okay. He was around cats, hustlers, drug dealers. We lived on the east side.
Yeah.
That's all the drug dealers was in Detroit. And the east side of Detroit, anybody tell you, ain't like the west side. The east side of Detroit, real foot soldiers. And I was glad to be a part of it because I'm a foot soldier.
Right.
Yeah, but that being said, after Darkest Hour came out, hey Pops, so I packed your bags, going back out to LA to retire from the post office. In 3 days, I was gone, man. And that's when my journey started into this music business. But what happened was Dr. Dre put me in my first video, Let Me Ride. And that's when I fell in love with film. I'm seeing, you know how you watch TV, and you don't know anything about film. Now I'm around it big because they was blowing up then.
Right.
Snoop. So now I'm around film. I'm watching all this film, stuff. I told Snoop, man, this is what I want to do. Because I seen how they was being treated at death row. And then everybody was complaining about money. Every record label, man, they gave me $1 million, but I got to pay it back. And then all of a sudden your records sales decline. Then they write you off. And I'm looking at all this. I'm thinking to myself, this music business, I don't want to be around it.
Right.
So I stuck with film. So that being said, I've done 4 movies, Rhymes and Reasons. I did Make It Rain with Daz. My biggest movie when I made the big screen was All Lives Matter, Tupac. L.T. Hutton that wrote that movie. I met him when he was 18 years old. I was still working at the post office in Detroit. And he came from Chicago with Rams Lewis' 2 sons, Kevin and Kelly. Kevin passed away, may he rest in peace. So that being said, when he got his first deal, he never forgot about me, right? So when Nate Dogg passed away, I saw him at the funeral. I mean, everybody was at Nate Dogg's funeral because he was family, right? So he said, hey, Pops, I'm trying to get this movie on Tupac. But I can't get the green light from his mom, Buffini. We all knew Buffini. So about 2016, I'm in my garage in Georgia with my dog watching TV in my man cave. He calls me up. He said, hey, Pops, he said, I got the green light for the movie. It's ironic. He's 5 miles from your house. Went down to Douglasville. He hung out with him. Hung out. About a week and a half later, they moved downtown. They changed locations. They went down to the 4th Ward. It's an old black section in Atlanta, but it's surrounded by downtown.
Right.
So when I got out of my truck, I seen a bunch of old cars across the street. They was all down south. They got the big 32s on their cars and got them all jacked up and moving around. And I said, are you using old cars for your movie? He said, yeah, Pops. He said, but those are not the ones I want. If I got one for you, I got a 70 deuce and a quarter. I think I showed it to you. For the hard top, just like new. I mean, original. Showed it to him. He said, man, bring it down the next day. I'm going to put it in the movie. So my car got in the movie first. During that time, I was married. So I'll be down in Orlando at the B.B. King's Blues Club. I'm at my timeshare, hanging out. And I got a text from LT. He said, hey, Pops, when you get back, I got 5 scenes for you. That's how I got in that movie. Didn't look for it. No audition, just got into it. Now I'm moving fast forward. I just got to filming Trouble Man with Michael J. White about 2 weeks ago down in Atlanta. That came about through a friend of mine. Her name is Red, but she does makeup. So they was walking the picket line. She called me. She said we need money. We ain't making no money because they walking the picket line. Right. And she said, my boy Michael J. is giving a movie. He's filming a movie in Atlanta, and I'm coming down. And she said I need Airbnb. I said, Red, I've known you for a long time. I got a big ass house, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms. You can stay with me. So she stayed with me, right? Before she got there, she said, hey, he's looking for a guy to play this character between 7 and 73 years old. And said, I told him about you. She said the budget wasn't big enough for him to fly people in and out. You know, in movies, they fly some people in. Yeah. Some of them, one person wanted a private jet. We were one. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can always find them in the equation.
Oh, great.
Right. So she could look at his Instagram page. So he looked at my Instagram page. He's seen all the things I've done. See, a lot of people don't realize I got 32 years of working in the film business. But I'm kind of in the background. I don't like all that fanfare. Okay, Snoop Dogg spot. I don't like all this stuff. I'm just me, everyday people. So he said, okay, he got the part. You don't have to read for it. Just for him, all the scenes I filmed is with him and his wife. I knew how big he is in the business.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he been around a long time. And I told him, I gave him a hug. Thank you for the opportunity. But I showed up for him. So that being said, now, this podcast I'm doing right now with you guys is number 5 for me. The first one I did was American Cholo. I did Rotterdam. I did Champagne Girls. I did Your Green Room in Detroit. I mean, in Vegas. It's ironic how that came about. The guys knew, they followed me on Instagram. They knew I lived in Detroit. They knew I lived on the east side. This guy used to be Eminem's manager. Eminem lived across the 8 Mile Road.
Yes.
So he said, man, I want to do a podcast on you. So really, he took me down memory lane in Detroit. Because he know Detroit like I knew it. But I was a mailman now, you know what I'm saying? And when I first got there, I was training carriers all over Detroit. But the east side was really my primary home, period. So did that, and then I met you at the Black Expo. We traveled. Now here I am in front of you. Now when I get back, Chris Bosh, that played for the Miami Heat, his brother was managing the movies set, the movie I just did. He finna start a podcast. I'm gonna be the first one on it. Now, that being said, a friend of mine, sister, that I actually live with in my 20s, she found me on Facebook. I haven't seen her in about 40 years. And her name, she had a show called Sheila. She's the queen of the red carpet. Been doing it since she was 18 years old. Hadn't saw her since 1975.
Wow.
She found me on Facebook. She called me. Called up. She said, okay, I'm going to start a podcast. I got that next in line. Now, January 28th next month, the documentary I filmed in Detroit, the Detroit Mailman, my premiere is in Maricopa, Arizona, next month on the 28th. It's going to be in Detroit in April. So I've done a lot, since April, I've done more things than some people do in 4 or 5 years.
That's real talk.
Not that I'm bragging. I've done more things, I'm thinking about it.
Right.
In this business, in the film business, you might be lucky if you get a role every 3 or 4 years.
That's how it is. Yeah.
So that's where I'm going at, D-Nice. Yeah.
Well, let's step back a little bit, because when you did the military time,
Right.
then that's a whole different mindset.
Right.
Coming from where your background was, going to where people were hollering at you in boot camp, and
Right.
telling you how to do you
Right.
in their style,
Right.
and then you were in the cavalry, so you're in a situation to where it's no drama.
Right.
It's kill or be killed.
Thank you.
The mindset, how did that transition come from your mindset of where you came from, living, working, and making things work for you, to a mindset to where now, man, anybody could be the enemy.
Right.
And at any time, your life could be gone.
Right.
What was that transition like?
In Vietnam?
No, from going from that,
Oh,
The country boy to
to the Nam.
to
oh
the
man,
service.
I guess it's like everybody else, man. Because for number one, you're not ready for it.
Right.
For number two, you have a kid. Let me say this: me and Ron and my boy Jerome Dollar, we was in Vietnam together, right?
Okay.
We still talk about. We know more about Vietnam now than we did when we was there. Because when you was there, you caught up in the moment. But I'm looking at all these documentaries. I thought we had it bad. I'm looking at all these documentaries. The guys went out with 135 guys,
Right.
and about 20-some guys came back.
Right.
Wow.
I was at a fire base with 125 people. We always scared. So when I got to Vietnam, I started out with the South Koreans, Tiger Division. And like I said, I had a racist ass platoon sergeant from Sergeant Dearborn. I'll never forget him, from Maine. He did not like blacks. He didn't like nobody. He was a lifer.
Right.
You know what lifers are, right?
Yes, I do.
A gun hole. So it's when he shipped me out 2 weeks later to the first Cal, my whole life changed for the worse. I'd never been shot at before, but a BB gun, yeah.
Did you realize the danger that you were in?
Hell yeah. What?
I'm just saying, like, you went to the service, you went to,
Yeah, but let me say this.
Were you really aware? Were you conscious as
I-
you were getting, going across to get there?
No, well, on the way to Vietnam, I really didn't think none of it.
Right.
Okay.
You're like, I'm just going
Right,
on a
we
trip.
all get people going to Vietnam. Vietnam was a TV war.
Right.
It was on TV every single day. Some parents seen their kids get killed.
Were you afraid?
No, I wasn't afraid when I got flying over there.
Right.
But what happened was, when we landed in Benoit Air Force Base, the plane was unloading, and during that time, they had planes that hold 400, 500 people, right? We had got off. The plane was still unloading. We heard this loud explosion behind us. Now, we just in Vietnam, right? But the first thing we noticed about Vietnam, the heat, man.
Hot.
They opened it hot. Hot ain't the word. When they opened the door, man, you come off a cool plane.
Right.
It felt like I was walking. I stepped into hell.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Then the smell. Then
Right.
all the noise I heard. Helicopters. Vietnamese squatting down with black pajamas on and straw hats, chewing some kind of tobacco. Their teeth was all black. They speaking
Right.
Vietnamese, sound like they were singing a song. And then one day you're over here, next day you're there. It was like it was unreal.
Right.
So these rounds was exploding behind the plane, right? And so I said, he said, run into the bunker. We hadn't been in Vietnam 30 minutes. we didn't know what a bunker was. We didn't have a gun. We just had our orders in our hand.
So what kind of training was taking place? You guys just
That
get off?
that training. No, here's the deal. Let me finish. When I got to Vietnam, after the plane took off, they was dropping the rounds off. Everything kind of settled down. The guys that were going home, they told us flat out. They said the training you had in the States, forget about it.
That's out the window.
The Geneva Convention, which you know about. If you get captured, what they can't do, you forget about that.
Right.
Even they're going to train you. We just got there, man.
Right.
So the first thing we asked them if we want some weed. Who do we talk to?
Right.
That's what we're looking for. Right. We had heard about it. He said, "Hey, man, anything if you need weed, any kind of drugs, go to Mama's son."
Okay.
But I noticed the guys from back east, Chicago, Detroit, New York, especially New York, and Puerto Ricans, they loved it. They loved that smack.
Right.
Loved it blow. I've been in California 2 years. I just started smoking weed, so I wanted some weed. The guys down south, they was usually just drinking liquor.
Right.
The right gut.
Sounds about right.
So he said, go to Mama's son. She's a pimp. She all that. So we went to Mama's son. He said, don't ask for no weed. Ask for happy smoke.
Right.
And we bought a whole sandbag at $15. That was a lot of money back then.
yeah, oh, absolutely.
So that night, after you settled in, man, we started smoking. I never been that high in my life, man. We had to walk around like zombies, man, trying to find the ground. Yeah, I'm on the real.
Right. Right.
So about 2 or 3 days later, man, they sent us to our unit, man. But I see the first guy I seen get killed in Vietnam was when they shipped me out to LZ Action. I spent my entire tour, except for the 2 weeks with the South Koreans. They had 2 convoys come through every day. One from Anke to Pleiku, and from Pleiku to Anke. Every Saturday morning they was hitting them, right? The first Saturday morning they started hitting them. It was like a flat, but it was a hill they had to climb.
Right.
So the truck had to pick up speed to get up that hill. They started dropping mortar rounds. We still building our fire base. They dropped around right through homeboys, deuce and a half.
Wow.
Black smoke went everywhere. We seen body parts fly. And the truck
Right.
stopped. And they started driving, bam, bam, bam. We didn't know what that was because they didn't tell us that in training. You know, we had to figure everything out the hard way.
On the job training.
On the job training. So this is the incident I will never forget long as I live. And me and Ron and Dallas still talk about it. August 24th, 1968. I was like about a week and a half from being in Vietnam, 3 months. But I had seen a lot of action by then. So at night, the highway closes in Vietnam at night. But you have to guard the bridges. The bridge 26 was like about a half mile from us. We used to guard it off and on. So 12 guys went out on APC, guarding the bridge.
Yeah.
We got the second shift in guard duty from 12 to 6. And all of a sudden, the lieutenant called in. He said, we got buku movement. You know, in Vietnam, it's so dark, you can put your hands right here and you can't see it. But they had this infrared light called Starlight Starbright. You look through it every hour, man, but it don't take but a split second for them to be on you.
That's right.
And he said, we got buku movement. So we knew what that meant. The bridge wasn't that big. So he called Captain Reed. Captain Reed said, he said, permission to fire. Captain Reed said, permission denied. We said, what? And time he hung the radio up, the fight started. It wasn't a fight, it was a massacre.
Right.
And we heard the whole fire base up looking at it. One of the worst things in the world in a war to see is your boys, the people you know getting lit up, getting killed.
Right.
And they always seen was yellow and green traces from the AK-47. They probably fired less than 10 shots, less than 15 minutes, overran the bridge. We go down there, right? Get down to the bridge. They tied their hands behind their back, become a wire. They cut their throats. And they got this big nail in your chest with a piece of paper on it saying GIDD. Shot them in the head, took all their weapons and everything. we sitting on the bridge trying to, tagging my bagging, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that somebody had called in 2 F-14s to drop bombs right next to us. We heard these jets coming. We were trying to figure out where they come from.
Well, how did that change your life?
Well, hearing aids.
Right.
They dropped them bombs.
Yeah.
Everybody's on that bridge, their ears started bleeding. That's how close it was, but we didn't know it was coming.
Right.
So 4 days later, I get wounded. They hit another convoy. I got wounded. Ron got wounded. My squad leader, car, he lost one of his eyes. Lieutenant Hamlet got real messed up. So that's when I got my first Purple Heart.
Right.
Moving fast forward, I just came back from Bangkok, Thailand for R&R. This April 1969. I had 34 days to wake up. Get back to to this pump station I was at. They pump gas. And my replacement, he had been in now about 2 months. They send them over before you leave to go home.
Right.
I got 34 days to wake up. That's a lifetime in Vietnam.
Right.
We was getting hit every night with RPGs. This particular night, they shot 12 RPGs, and they came at us. Okay, I popped the flare. I was a hardcore vet. So I called in the artillery, called in the gunship. We killed 73 that night. But I got wounded twice that night in a 9-hour shootout. So the next day, that night, they took me to the hospital on a helicopter. 2 days later, I came back. They took me. I came back to my fire base. I wasn't going on patrol. They made me an RT or radio operator.
Okay.
So that was my tour in Vietnam, man.
Wow.
Yeah, that's done more than in 24 hours than
How did it
people
change
do.
you?
Man, that's
How did
crazy.
Vietnam change me?
Yeah.
Well, it made me a man for number one. For number two, it made me appreciate life. Because really,
That's good.
Here's the deal: when your life's on the line,
Yeah.
you never know what you're capable of doing to survive.
That's right.
Okay, so I can't really right now. I can't believe I'm talking to y'all because
Right.
I should have been
Gotcha.
gone,
Yeah.
but I'm still here. Yeah, but it made me a better person. I've always been a good person because I grew up in a small town, and I had a good mom and dad. They was married 48 years. So I grew up in an iron fist, right? But it really made me appreciate life. Really made me appreciate the United States. Because some people in Vietnam were living in huts, no water, water buffaloes. You watch some of these Vietnam movies, the people in the village, that's how they live.
Right.
Yeah. So I said to myself, when I get back to the States, I'm gonna give me a good job, buy me a nice home, and go to church.
Were you ever like, why am I here? What
Yeah,
is this
yeah,
all
yeah,
about?
yeah.
Why are we fighting?
Well, let me tell you about that. When I started going to college in West LA, I said, let me do some research on Vietnam. I was wondering why was we there?
Why are we there?
Right. So come to find out, they have been fighting for 4,000 years. They beat Genghis Khan. They beat the Japanese, Chinese. France held on Vietnam for 100 years. Because Vietnam, they call it the jewel of Asia because they grow more rice than any other country in the world. So they ran France out. And I didn't realize Ho Chi Minh had lived in the United States for 7 years. And I come to find out, all the dictators that we fight, they've been here before. They knew more about us in Vietnam than we knew about ourselves. You watch some of these Vietnam movies, they had a sympathizer called named Hanoi Hannah. She'd be on the radio. Wolfman Jack was our DJ. Every time he went to commercial break, she get on the radio. Soul brother, they call it soul brother. Go home. This is not your war.
Right.
We know how you're gonna be treated when you get back. And we trying to figure out how she know we soul brothers. Okay, but so they knew more about us than we knew about them. Right. And then last but not least, the last Paris peace talk they had before I left for Vietnam '68. General Jab that was over the North Vietnamese army told Harry Kissinger just passed away. He's unwilling to lose 10 of my guys for one of yours, but I will outlast you. Now that sounds a lot, right?
Right.
Okay, let me tell you why. Our draft day was twice a year, 40,000 people, twice a year. Their draft day was 250,000 twice a year. Do the math.
Wow.
We was always outnumbered.
Wow.
So what the heck were our people doing over there?
Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you. Let me say this. Wars are sorted for one thing, to cut down on the reproduction of people. During that time, back in the 60s, the black population, Latino population, Puerto Rican population was growing too fast. So, that being said, 30% of blacks was being drafted back then. So think about 58,749 guys got killed in Vietnam.
Right.
18, 19 years old. Think about how many kids they would have had. So they started wars to cut down on reproduction of people. They start wars because it's something in that country that they want. Prime example, Iraq.
Yeah.
The old man Bush went there first. They've been in the oil business for a billion years. You ride down through Midland, Texas, all you see is bush.
Bush.
Now your son go back over there, him and Cheney, and Cheney was supplying them with uniforms and food. That's a conflict of interest. Okay, so that's why people start wars. Afghanistan, this one they're gonna get you right here.
Yeah.
Afghanistan supplies 75% of the world with heroin. When the war first started, we heard about heroin, right? Why was you over there 16 years? I'm gonna tell you why. All those lieutenants, colonels, and you know what I'm saying, generals, they all made money, man. When I seen the president of Afghanistan, I thought to myself, you the kingpin. Just the way he dressed, his demeanor. Gang recognized gang.
Yeah.
So that's why wars started. Period.
Yeah, there's always something going on behind the scenes that the people don't see.
Because the
and
government,
they sacrifice
That's
the people.
the government.
right.
to win.
That's the government.
Did you notice any differences in how they treated African American men versus men that were of the lighter persuasion?
What, in Vietnam? No. What happened was, man, is that when I was in Vietnam, I seen one black lieutenant. I seen one black.
Right.
Now, my cousin just retired from the military. She was a major. My neighbor, he was a light colonel. I'm thinking they lying. I'm saying that was unheard of back in my day.
Right.
But they treated blacks different because the white boys most white boys had a cushion job in Vietnam. You was black, you was in the bush. Just that simple. Just that simple.
On the main line.
On the main line, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yep.
But it didn't bother me because, like I said, I was used to it because I grew up down south in that type of environment.
Right.
Yeah, growing up in that era that you grew up
Yeah,
in,
right.
you saw a lot of discrimination.
Exactly right.
How did that change and shape your life?
It made me a stronger person.
Yeah.
My thing is like this. I used to always tell my dad, these white people, why do they think they're better than us? They're not better than us. Okay? So my thing is like this. So a lot of blacks complain about the white man, this white man. I don't worry about the white man. I'm gonna tell you what. I play his game. His
You
game.
know how to play the game.
His game's getting off your ass, getting your own stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
You can't worry about what he got.
Stop relying on the systems to take care of you and just get up and do it.
Right, but our problem is blacks. We're not unified.
Yeah.
You feel me?
But you know why. You know why we're not unified. We were separated.
Right. Money separates people.
Yes, it,
Money separates families.
yes, it
Separate
does.
families.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And if they can keep us separated,
Right.
we never will have anything as a unit.
That's why they play the game of divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
that simple. Yeah.
That's what they do. It's not going to change, but the lessons learned are what carry us through to make and define us. You use that background survival skills that you garnered, although you came from not the street level family.
Right.
You had to have the mentality of be able to beat the street, to meet the street. And then you carry that through the boot camp, because like on the boot camp, they are what they are. They train you how to do their thing and to listen to what they tell you to do, more so than how to survive.
Right.
And that Nam, the war that was just like unbeatable,
Right.
here they throw you in there with the small bit of training you learn in boot camp. That doesn't teach you how to survive.
What you're saying, it makes so much sense, D-Nice. I'm thinking like brainwash. They're brainwashing the minds to believe.
To believe the drama that they're going to tell you, but they're not telling you what you're going to see once you get there.
Exactly. You're right.
And when you get there, it's a shock.
A shock is the word. It's a nightmare.
It's nothing like what you thought.
Man, please.
Yeah. Like you said, they told you to throw it all out the window.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're getting ready to do something completely different.
Right. They trained us.
You're like, can I get a sketch pad?
Right.
Somebody help me.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
But there's no time. I mean, it's live or die each second to
It's
second.
thrown
Right.
into the mix.
And that's a good, although I would not write a prescription for everybody to have that, especially our young people.
Right.
It's good to have that talent because today, in this craziness, you need all that you've garnered.
You're exactly right.
And you're in a position of leadership because you have been a leader and you know how to make leaders.
Right.
Because you've been there.
Right.
Not necessarily under leaders,
Right.
but you had to emerge.
Right.
Like when you were talking about you had to learn the music business.
Right.
That was something that survival said, hey, if you don't learn it, you're going to get eat up in the family too.
Right.
And so there's people listening right now, especially young people that are sitting there saying, wow, I wanted to do this lifestyle because it's shown to be glamorous. The money, the gold, the diamond, the women, and all that stuff. But you know better. And that's what we're doing today with this journey with yours, to let people see that all the glitters is not gold.
Right.
You know, just because they say it doesn't mean it's law.
Right.
And just because they do it doesn't
Right.
mean it's right.
Right.
And that's so prolific. When you came on, we started to show off talking about your unification with Rob.
Right. Right.
And where he was at and where you were at, and you had a commonality.
Right.
But you like to always find out where people are from.
Yes, I do.
So you know how to deal with that
right,
scenario
right.
because you're multicultural
Right.
and multi-sanctioned.
Right. Right.
And so now, once you meet, he saw something in you and heard something in you that they're able to put to the screen
Right.
to show others.
Right.
So everything's pushing it, playing it forward.
Right.
Like you were doing with your son, pushing it, playing it forward.
Right.
He's on to be the man that he is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you were the man that you were.
Right.
And it just passes on. You spent some time not too long ago with your grandson.
Right.
When you guys went there to, what is it, you have something going on with housing?
No,
and,
he bought 100 acres of land in Cordell, Georgia, and we went down and talked to the city councilman. Kind of down south, it's all about zoning, what you can and can't build, even though it's your land. So I'm taking. He's 26 years old, and I always tell him you don't know what you get.
Right.
But he got what he got. It's not because of Snoop, because Snoop was always gone. He always been around me, and by him buying the land, I've been putting it in his head since he was in 8th grade. He listened to me. So now he got 100 acres of land, which is a lot of land.
What's he gonna do with it?
Excuse me.
What's he gonna do with it?
No, we after January 1st, we're gonna start turning dirt, developing it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, right. So I'm building me a house down there, so I have somewhere to stay. So while they building everything, I'd be down there. It's only 2 hours from my house in Georgia.
Okay, gotcha.
And here's the good part about D-Nice. I'm retired, man. I have done my time. and that's my grandson. I want to be my thing, but here's the deal. I'm a family man. I got Snoop out in the way. That's round 1. That was my hardest round. I've been knocked down, knocked out.
Like
Right,
next.
right. But
through.
but I've been through with him.
Right.
We both been through it. Okay, but at the end of the day, I can say I was just type father that stuck with him through the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
Now he's back to the good.
Right.
Now my grandkids grown up in a completely different era. And one thing I told them, don't worry about what Soup and your mom got. I know how they got. I know where they came from. I've been with them through this whole journey.
Right,
Okay?
right.
So your job as an individual is to show them that they didn't waste their time and money on you for you to be out here and don't become somebody.
Right.
Y'all got me, but this is what I told them. Everything starts with me. I'm the Godfather.
Right.
Now, you know all the things I've done in life. Are you gonna let me outdo you? And I'm 40 years older than you? No. You're gonna get off your rear end. You're gonna listen to me.
Stand on
I
your
can't,
shoulders.
Right. I can't make you do what you don't want to do. But if you listen to me, the main thing I told them is this. Let's face facts. From the time you're born till you finish high school, that's phase 1 in your life. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Right.
The hardest phase in your life is from high school till you turn 30 years old because you lost. And I got to tell my
Trying to figure it
grandkids.
out.
Right. But I told my grandkids when they got to 10th grade, start getting your game plan like right now.
Right.
You don't wait till you get to 12th grade.
Right.
Excuse me, to my grandson Cordell, he's a lot like me, excuse me. He listened to me, right? You got a nice house. Now you got this land. You got a 1.3 acres of land in Cat Island. But our main concentration, first things first, 100 acres of land.
Right.
He's between Macon and Albany, Georgia. It's a perfect spot. You got Fort Valley State University, all black. Albany State, all black. Valdosta State, all black. Georgia's all black. So that being said, the land you got, you got all kinds. You got all kinds of options. So I grew up with land. I know all about it. So I thought he got me. He got Jeff, my neighbor. He got big time real estate. The white guy he bought the land from, he owned 14,000 acres. He's a billionaire, and he takes our time to be with me and Jeff, with my grandson helping us out. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just letting him know, you set for the rest of your life. Just don't sell your land. You can have all the money in the world in the bank. You stand a chance of getting it out. 100 by 100 by 100, you broke. But land, you'll never be broke. All you got to do is pay your taxes. It's real easy.
Right.
Right. So that's his journey right now.
Now,
That's good.
in full circle, talk about full circles. You've been dealing with real estate. You've been doing a lot of things,
Right.
and now you're back with being a consultant and helping the family.
You're right, exactly.
But you did good along the way of putting and installing into your son the
Right.
same thing, because full circle went through the drama with Death Row. Now he owns it.
Right,
So the correlation,
right,
teaching them to go full circle.
right,
Now
exactly.
to watch the grandson
Right.
and see where he's gonna go with full circle
Right.
as he teaches something to the others that are coming behind
Right,
him.
right.
And that's where it comes from. Like I
Right.
said, the rooster comes first.
Right.
Because you got to set that precedent
Right.
for others to follow.
Right.
So you've done your work, and you deserve to retire, but you haven't.
Right.
You continue to work.
Right.
You know, when you were there at the expo, you also had a young lady that you've been mentoring
Oh, yeah, let me say that-
in management.
Okay, Aniette. Matter of fact, she's having a big party. I got it on Instagram and went to Cucamonga for New Year's party.
Okay.
She's up for a Grammy Award. Okay, let me tell you how I met her. I met her through my niece when I retired from the post office in Detroit. My son was living in Claremont, so my niece brought her out, and she was 18 years old. So she started singing for me, and she has a voice, right? You heard her.
Yes.
Right. So when Snoop couldn't find when no record label would deal with Snoop, I was out in his gazebo one day in Claremont cleaning it up, and my phone rang. It was Master P. I didn't know who he was. He called me. I said, "Hello." I said, "What the hell is this? This Master P."
Right.
Yeah, but bring your boy down to No Limit. Okay. Right. He grew up in New Orleans, right? That's where my dad's people from. I grew up 45 minutes from New Orleans. So talk stupid and going down to No Limit. I took Aniette down there. So what happened was, I guess when P got Snoop, he forgot about us. He gave us a nice check, and she had quit her job. I felt kind of bad, and I didn't know anything about the music business then.
Right.
But he saved my son's career for number one. Let me say that. He taught him business for number two. So Aniette, she never gave up. So what I did, I split the money in half, gave her half, and I took half. From that point on, we never gave up. I stayed on my journey. She stayed on hers. Now she running her own record label. She's been overseas and everything. So that's how I found her. But I'm proud of her because she's up for a Grammy Award.
Yes.
Yeah, and you heard her at Expo.
She got pipes.
I put out there with anybody. She's a bona fide R&B singer, old school.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, everything we're talking about so far is paving the way.
Right.
Paving the way for the next generation.
Right.
Paving us for the next scene of your life.
Right.
So you've just finished a project. You've got some more projects in the wind that you're going to be doing.
Right.
So the motion picture aspect is something that you like.
I love it. I love it.
You like acting?
Yes, I do.
But on the flip side, will there be a time when you go behind the camera and direct some of these pieces?
Hey, I'm putting I'm putting everything in the equation. I'm telling you why.
Nothing's off limits.
No, I've been doing it for 32 years. I started out with Dr. Dre.
Okay.
I worked with DJ Pooh. Did it Friday in the Wash. With Darren Grant. Carl Craig did Hollywood Shuffle. May you rest in peace. And what I did, Bill Cosby's brother-in-law used to work with me at the post office on 39 Crenshaw.
Okay.
Guy. But he moved back to Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cosby told me one thing. He said, if you're going to be in this film business, study your craft. Like my son studied his craft in the music business, but he got a natural cause. He came from a musical family.
Right.
My thing is film. I'll tell you what, when I was working at the post office in L.A., when television would go off at 12 o'clock at night. They started
I don't remember anything about that.
They started playing the national anthem.
Right.
You know, it's time to go to bed.
I don't remember nothing about
Right.
that.
Yeah, 6 o'clock and come back on.
Right.
I'd be up watching Humphrey Bogart.
Right.
Ozzy Davis. I mean, I said to myself, this is where I want to be. Never in my wildest dreams that I think. I never would have thought. I'm going to make the big screen for the second time.
Right.
And then it really didn't look for it. Now I got my boy Keith Neal. He's going to give me an agent next year because I am SAG-AFTRA, right?
Okay.
But I know for a fact you can put me out there with anybody that
We
acts.
need you like in The Godfather or something.
I am
like
the Godfather, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
Yeah, that's me.
I need you to be out there just, you know.
And you could be on my right arms, right?
Okay, I'm right here. You need me.
You got some
me.
gangster in your blood.
A little bit. A little bit.
No, but that's what believe me.
Yeah.
What you just said, all this is in my equation.
Yeah.
And eventually it's gonna happen.
Yes, it is.
It's so good
Yeah.
to go through so many life experiences.
Right.
To make you who you are.
Right.
And then when you're thrown into these positions, you know just how to posture yourself.
Exactly, right.
Because you've been through it already.
Right.
It's nothing like the school of hard knocks.
Thank you.
That is, to me, I enjoyed the degrees, you
Right.
know, the PhDs
Right,
and the
right,
doctorate.
right.
That's all good.
Right.
But when you've been in the trenches,
Right.
and you understand you have to survive. Everybody didn't come home from Vietnam.
Right. Right.
You know, everybody is not able to take off a hat and put on another hat.
Right.
Some
right.
people just don't know how to do that.
Right. Right.
But you have those gifts.
I-
You have those gifts. And because you have those gifts, I'm so grateful that you share and you talk about, you know, these life experiences.
Right, right.
Because there are people out there that are watching and listening. If you can do it, they can do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's how I look at it. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, bringing back full circle, you met Rob,
Right.
and come to find out that your other half at the time was working with him, right? Was doing the prison reform.
Oh yeah, yeah. Susan Mom Beverly, 10
Right.
years. 10
Beverly
years.
Taylor.
Right.
Yeah, Beverly say 10 years.
See, we're talking full circles every
Right,
time
right.
we're doing. We're
Right,
talking
right,
full
right.
circle.
Right.
So she was working. Now, tell us a little bit about the prison reform scenario that they were working on and what that was doing.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I really don't know too much about it. The only thing I know is she was on the board.
Right.
And Rob, he helped get white boy Rick out of prison.
Gotcha.
He helped get Maserati Rick girlfriend out of prison. And he fight for people who's in prison unjust.
Gotcha.
And then
Gotcha.
he sent them T-shirts and stuff. You know, like he's involved with 168 prisons. That's a lot of prisons.
That's a whole lot.
And by me knowing Rob now for 2 years, and I know where he came from.
Right.
Okay, from Detroit. Okay, and I know how he turned his life around.
Exactly.
I'm very proud of him. He's one of the few. And he did a 360. His wife, Lucinda, both of them I love them to death. They're hardworking people. They get things done. But like I said, man, Beverly. What happened was she had a birthday party.
Okay.
I just when I seen Rob the second time before she passed away. The next day she had a heart attack. She had just turned 70 years old. So
Young woman.
Yeah, young woman, 70 years old. Because we grew up together. Her father's grandmother was a midwife in my hometown. She lived with all my mom's kids. Her name was on all 12 of my mom's kids' birth certificates.
Wow.
Because back then, if you was black, the white man would not
Right.
deliver your kid.
Exactly.
So she was the best midwife. The block I grew up on in my hometown, Magnolia, called Lover's Lane, right?
Right.
There was almost 50 kids in that one block.
That's what I was Lover's Lane.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Almost 50, yeah. But she delivered every last one of those kids.
Wow.
Yeah. So this how for me and Bella to go back.
Right.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. And she was an evangelist.
Yeah, she was evangelist, right.
So we're talking still about installations, installing in the youngsters.
Right.
So that's what matters. Now, coming full circle, you and Rob connect,
Right.
and he sees in you what you let him know about the post office. He already had living surroundings,
Right.
the street surroundings, so you
Right.
guys correlated on that one there.
Right.
So how does it finally sit down to where you sat back and said, you know what, I did my gig at the post office, let me go back and talk about it? Is that when you put that out to him about the postman, and he decided let's make something of
Right.
this? What was your mindset on? Were you trying to play it forward? Were you just trying to reminisce, or were you trying to bring something that people could learn from?
What we was doing, let me take you back on that.
Okay.
We was chopping it up. We was just on the phone talking.
Okay.
But before then, at my son's 50th birthday party, it's a bunch of guys came from Chicago.
Okay.
You know, when I walked to my son's gate, I saw him, you know what I'm saying? By me living in Detroit, I went to school in Chicago for 6 years when I was in the management, and half my hometown is in Chicago. And when I walked in, I'd never seen these guys before, right? I know I was saying to myself, okay, y'all from Chicago. Because Chicago got a different swag than Detroit. The way they wear their hats and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I peeped it right away. I mean, guys, I'm worldwide, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm a street person.
Right.
So they introduced themselves. So what happened was, Rob called me and said, hey, man, the guys you met from Chicago at your son's birthday party, they doing a thing about called the OGs, and they want to do an interview on you. He said, can I give Rick your number? I said, yeah. So I called him in Chicago. He was telling me what was involved, who went well. Not knowing that he was coming down to try to get to my son through me.
Right.
So So that, but I'm used to that too.
Right.
Okay, so that's nothing new. But so what happened was, I told him how much I was going to charge him, a couple grand. Because, like I said, my time is precious.
Yes.
Okay, so first thing I noticed, it was in the wintertime. They drove down. I'm trying to figure out, okay, you drove down. You say you are who you are. You didn't fly down.
Right.
So three of them drove down, put in my driveway. Next thing he wanted to do, take a shower in my house. He just met me.
Okay.
But the first thing he said when he got in his truck, him and his homeboy, they're supposed to be a film guy. I hope you don't think that we're here to try to get to your son through you. I said, if you did, it's not gonna happen no way.
It's not going to work.
But what happened was, I got the first half of my money anyway. So okay.
Right.
But I know what I'm going to say and what I'm not going to say.
wasting your time.
One thing I'm not going to do, I ain't finna call Snoop.
Right.
So, okay, you at his party already, birthday party. Why didn't you holler at him?
Right.
But you gonna call Rob and tell Rob that you want my number, and we're gonna get back to you, Rob, do an interview on you. So they came in the house, did an interview. I didn't say nothing until I got mother half the money.
Right.
Okay, I said to myself, let me have some fun now. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm seeing who you are.
Yeah.
Not that I'm throwing rocks at him, but I'm saying that you don't know shit about this business.
Right.
You don't know nobody in this business. I've been around, man. Come on.
Trying to go
Yes.
through
Yes.
you.
But think about how many people have tried that
Right.
and failed. And my son tell him, you wasting your time talking to my pops. The first thing you gonna do is you get lost.
Get lost.
So that being said, man. So that being said, me and Rob got to talking after the film, going back and forth, and then Rob sent me a resume of all the things they did. I said, damn, TV show in Cincinnati. Yeah, interviewed Snoop now. This one was coming up.
Right.
He been in the game longer than me. Yeah, I noticed it. I know he got game. Okay, but I'm noticing that I'm looking at his business sense.
Okay.
Okay, so he all about business. Your wife all about business. So he come up with this concept, Detroit Mailman. I said, man, that sounds pretty good. Okay, and we just started chopping up, working on that.
Right.
And now he got the building, packed house. I talked to they had a Christmas party over the weekend. I talked to the postmaster. I talked to a few big wigs at the post office. They much younger than me though.
Right.
Okay, they came to the post office in '83. I left. I mean, I came to the post office in 1970.
Gotcha.
So, but that being said, the post office have a magazine they come out with once a month. Rob hooked me, the postmaster that Rob know in Maricopa, because he got connections, right? She hooked me up with this editor in Nebraska. He a mailman / editor.
Right.
So he did an interview on me. So when the magazine came out and then people seen me and Snoop on the magazine, said Snoop Dogg's father worked at the post office, retired. It cost her, you talking about 516,000 people. know who I am now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's more advertisement. Now the postmaster general want to come down from D.C. Everybody gonna be there. Everybody want to meet me, but like Rob told him, that man he's more than a mailman. Man, I got a long resume, man. Believe me.
Right.
I
I hear it.
And it goes on and on and on and on. You know why? Because I'm constantly working.
But that's
Right.
all life experiences.
Right. They keep me young though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep you active, young.
But another thing about people that realize, you got to be around the right people.
That's the thing.
You got to be around the right people. Just that simple.
That's
true.
simple.
And being around y'all, I feel comfortable around y'all. Cause I met D-Nice and her at the expo.
Yep.
Now I'm around you, but I know I'm around professional people because I can feel it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's what this is why it's part
You
one.
feel safe.
That's why this is part one of this interview. Because we're gonna go to the second part as we follow the career of Vernell. And you know what? As we get ready,
Yeah.
as we get ready to go out, we got a couple minutes left.
Right.
What I want to do is I want to thank Rob and Lucinda Boyd, who run the program.
The streets don't
The
love you back.
streets don't love you back.
Right.
And that's okay. If you want to holler at that or see what's going on, the streets don't love you back at Gmail.
Right.
And it's a life skill intervention program. And founded in 2015 by Lucinda was the Life Skills Intervention Program, and they both founded the organization in 2009 for youth employment, empowerment, provides community, organizational, economical, social, cultural empowerment of these youth and young people. And we'd like to thank you because the interview today was brought to us by them and they managed you. Thank God for that. And also a thank you to my man Julian from Jenny's Donuts, who's a great person that I met yesterday that's going to be a part of our team now. And we got a chance to speak with Miss Sharon. She does a lot of nonprofit work. And so that's a good thing, too.
This organization that you're talking about.
Yeah. So, we're going to be, following you real closely. And we got some stuff we're going to chop up. You know what I'm saying? And we'll keep it there. But as we're wrapping it up today, I'd like to thank you guys for taking time of your busy schedule to watch us here. And, music and conversation is what we do. And we don't do interviews, we just chop it up. And we had one of the greatest men here that I know that could tell a story and take you on a journey in life is one step at a time.
I've been to Vietnam today.
But it's a journey. Yes, you have.
You crazy.
And so I'd like to thank Vernell Varnado. They call him A.K.A. Poppa Snoop. But hey, you know what I'm saying? This is Vernell Varnado, the man. And he's going to be doing a whole lot. And he has a birthday, and we got something for him right quick. His birthday's tomorrow.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Vernell. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Have a cupcake.
74.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We'd like to shout out to the poetess who always is just so gracious to open up her space here.
Yes.
And you guys in the booth, thank you very much.
Thanks
Take
a lot, man.
Pause and a wave here. And we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you watching, taking time out. And, like I always say, put God first and everything else will follow.
Right.
I guarantee it. Until
That's
next
good
time,
advice.
from Sharon,
Hey.
from Vernell, from Monica, Miss M, we're saying next time.
Next time.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Vernell Varnado served in the U.S. Army, 1st Cavalry Division, in Vietnam, in which he received 3 Purple Heart Awards. On arriving home, he moved to Los Angeles and in 1970 began a career with the U.S. Post Office. He worked 15 years in L.A. before transferring to Detroit, Michigan. Vernell worked on the west side at College Park Station Post Office and then at the east side Kensington Station Post Office. He delivered the mail door to door during the height of drugs and violence from 1985 to 1995, before retiring and returning to LA to be closer to his son. The Parkside Public Housing Projects is no stranger to Vernell. It was also the drug territory of Rob Boyd and the 430 crew. Vernell passed through there every day and even has stories about Chandler Park across the street. Vernell knew many people in the city, from the top to the bottom, and their families. He watched what was happening every day as he walked down those streets delivering the mail. We're going to go back to those neighborhoods and listen and get all the untold stories from Vernell. This documentary will bring many stories to light. You're not going to want to miss it.